There's a few episodes in Fear the Walking Dead where the survivors seek refuge from the zombie apocalypse in a nearby hotel. And throughout the episodes involving the hotel, I started wondering, are hotels good in a zombie apocalypse? To find out that answer, we first need to figure out what kind of hotel we are talking about, and then figure out what the pros and cons would be to determine just how good hotels would be during a zombie apocalypse. So hit that like button if you're ready, which also helps to get the video into recommendations, and maybe even subscribe if contents related to zombies are something that you're interested in. My name is Tyler, and I'm about to be moving, so no green screen today, and this is Zombie Survival Labs. This episode of Zombie Survival Labs is sponsored and brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, the turn-based RPG game that's done right and 100% free to play. And not only is it available on mobile devices, but it's also available on PC as well. But don't just play it, join in on the events as well by clicking on this icon here. Compete in tournaments against the raid community while fighting in the Spider's Den, the Ice Golem's Peak, the Almighty Fire Knight, or the Notorious Dragon. And in the 1.15 patch coming in May, you can compete in the brand new Arena Tournament to earn points and win awesome rewards. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on the special links, and if you are a new player, you'll get 100,000 silver and a free champion, the Grumbler. Hold on, this champion's actually pretty good. And you can find all the awesome stuff by clicking on your inbox button here. But you need to hurry, because they're only available for the next 30 days. What I like about Raid is what you see is what you get, but even if you aren't interested in Raid Shadow Legends, it's their sponsorships that are helping YouTubers like myself make some money during these times. So if you can download it, play it for 5 minutes, you're doing me and a whole bunch of other YouTubers a big favor. I mean, you can even join my clan by looking for me under the nickname ZMZreloaded. So click on the link down in the description box or in the pinned comment, and I will see you guys there. Let's get back to the video. Hotels, a temporary home for people that are on the move, whether that be for business, competition, or activities you wouldn't want others knowing about. You know what I mean? Wide varieties of people come and go from a hotel every single day with different personalities, jobs, skills, and interests. Some interests might not be as Christian-like as you might want, but there's a lot of different people that go through hotels, and those traits those people have determine which type of hotel they go to. Some hotels have accommodations for the vacation type of people, and some hotels have the accommodation for quick business type of people. So to answer the question, are hotels good in a zombie apocalypse, we first need to find out which of the many types of hotels we are talking about. Since Fear the Walking Dead was a big inspiration for this video, I felt it was fitting to use the hotel they used in their show. The Rosarito Beach Hotel, which is a beachfront hotel. And it's these beachfront resorts that offer a survival strategy that's a little bit different from other hotels, which we'll get into exactly why later on in the video. And now that we have our hotel, we need to start figuring out the pros and the cons of whether or not a hotel would be good in surviving a zombie apocalypse. But the big question is why? If zombies don't exist, then why ask such a silly question? Learning how to survive a zombie apocalypse follows the same guidelines for survival as any other realistic apocalyptic scenario, like the solar grid collapsing or a pandemic, which might sound familiar right now. So by preparing yourself to survive a zombie apocalypse, you're actually preparing yourself to survive many other far more realistic scenarios. In fact, this method of zombie apocalypse preparedness is even recommended by the CDC, and you can read more about that by the link in the description. But let's stop wasting time and just get into it. What are the pros to surviving in a hotel during a zombie apocalypse? The first thing you're going to want in any shelter is shelter. You not only need a place that's going to keep the zombies out, but you also need a place that's going to keep you dry, warm, and safe from potential threats. And most places you'll find will offer you shelter, just like a hotel will. But shelter isn't enough. You still need things like food and water to make it just to even short-term survival. Luckily for you, a hotel like the Rosarito Beach Hotel, which we are basing this list off of, gives you shelter, food, and water. Because the Rosarito Beach Hotel is a beachfront resort, you will be right off the ocean, allowing you to have a potentially endless food source by fishing. Kinda makes me miss Yee Tyler. But at least now I know he's forever going to be fishing with the boys. Some of you might think that there is a potential for fish to carry the zombie virus, but by simply cooking the fish, you'll take care of any virus that the fish might have. Fish alone is not going to be good enough though. While they are a good source of protein and omega-3, like I've stated in my Are Boats Good in a Zombie Apocalypse, which you can find in the iCard here, Your body needs other things to survive, like vitamin C. And people wanted to point out so hard that seaweed has vitamin C. But luckily, being on a beachfront allows you to have an abundant amount of seaweed washing up on shore. But there's even a smarter solution when it comes to a hotel. Building a farm. And hotels, especially resorts, are going to have plenty of spaces where you can build those farms. But those crops are going to take time to grow though, and eating only fish will likely make you sick. And seaweed is gross. But that's okay, because by searching the hotel, you're going to find a bunch of oatmeal, cereal, granola bars, veggie bars, chips, ramen, and that's just the snack food. You're going to want something nice to drink that down with. So how about some Coke, the friendly family kind? You're also going to have every mini fridge available for you. So why not have a Jaeger bomb, the friendly family kind with no alcohol, which is just Red Bull. But either way, you're going to have plenty of things to drink as well. But just like having an endless amount of food, do you have an endless amount of water? Yes, you're on a beachfront resort. You have an ocean's amount of water. Now you can't just go straight drinking from the ocean, but if you think you can though, and you are up for the challenge, you can call this number right here after you drink a few gallons of salt water. Let us know how it goes. A better option though is to distill the water and turn it back into drinking water, which is as easy as starting a fire, getting 2 glass bottles, a bit of tape, which is optional, and some sand. And now you have drinking water. So this means that not only do you have a shelter, but you also have an endless supply of food from farming and fishing, and an endless supply of water because of the ocean, meaning that you have the basics of survival. But this is a zombie apocalypse, and just like any apocalypse, the basics aren't enough to cut it to long-term survival. And even though the zombies are the main threat in this scenario, a threat that's in all apocalyptic scenarios is people. Primarily, the people that want your stuff. So what kind of stuff do you have in a hotel anyway? You actually have more than I originally thought. Hotels are not only designed to give temporary housing to people, but also provide them with accommodations like spas, pools, social events, and more. You have hundreds of beds and bedrooms at your disposal. And you might think that if the power goes out, you won't be able to access these rooms, since the majority of them are electrical now and need card readers to access. But the opposite is true. All bedrooms would unlock in the case of the electricity going out, because it would be considered a safety hazard, and also against the law in many countries. But you don't just have beds and mini shampoo bottles though, you have a lot more. Just the janitorial equipment room will have enough supplies that your skill and imagination are your only limits. But with all that stuff, you need a way to secure all of that stuff. And hotels give you some interesting ways to do that. In many other shelters like malls, prisons, or schools, which I've talked about before and can be found in the description box below, there's far too much space to effectively secure your location. With a hotel, it's different though, because your space is vertical, meaning that you only really need to secure the entrances on the ground floor, and by doing that, you've secured all the rest of the floors above it. If you get ran over by zombies, you could just retreat to the floor above that, lock the doors until you figure out a way to combat the situation. You could also set up a couple of boats off the dock in case you need to make a quick escape. So not only do you have a way to secure the hotel, but you even have a better security method by using the roof as a vantage point. Since most hotels are taller than wider, this means you'll have a pretty good view of the surrounding area. Not only are you going to be able to see oncoming zombie hordes or people, but you're also going to have an early warning for oncoming boats, giving you a big heads up on any potential threats coming your way. It almost sounds too good to be true. You have food, water, shelter, supplies, security, space, and a vantage point. Unfortunately though, a few of the cons make up for this and will likely end up getting you killed. But before we get to the cons, let me know if there's some pros that you think I might have missed. Also, don't forget to like this video if you're enjoying it so far, and maybe even consider subscribing. Not only does that help this channel get into recommendations more, but it also helps me know if you want to see more of this content. Anyway though, what are the cons to surviving in a hotel during a zombie apocalypse? By far, the largest con that you're going to run into in a hotel is the fact that it's an alternative care site. Alternative care sites are places that, in the event of a disaster or public health emergency, alternative care sites may be created to enable healthcare providers to provide medical care for injured or sick patients, or continue care for chronic conditions in non-traditional environments. But would a hotel be considered an alternate care site? Yes, they would. In fact, right now, as of making this video, the CDC is currently looking into such a thing, and you can read about that at cdc.gov or by going to the link in the description box. So the big question now is, what does that mean? This means that you either have to get there early enough to fight off the military and local police, which let's be real here. Go there during and risk an outbreak and possibly getting infected, or go there after and deal with a horde of 100 plus zombies and risk getting infected. Which, the last one is probably your best bet if you are dead set on a hotel as your shelter. And just this con alone drastically lowers your survival chances in a hotel during an apocalyptic scenario. But the cons don't stop there. Hotels are usually in high population areas of cities. More people equals more problems, and more problems equals more zombies. I mean, that obviously is a real simplification of why high population areas is a con, but when you want to avoid potential threats, living in a city full of potential threats isn't the way to do it. So our next con is it's in a high population area. But we still got another one. It's a hotspot. A hotspot is a place that the common public will seek out during an apocalyptic situation. These places are going to be like hospitals, police stations, or schools. And because hotels are already alternative care sites, this means that local newscast stations and broadcast stations will tell people to go to hotels alongside schools and arenas and hospitals. This creates a hurricane of a bad idea. A hotel is already in a highly populated area, and now because it's an alternative care site, it becomes a hotspot, meaning people are going to be flooding to this place to seek medical treatment or care, which will likely end up making the hotel fail and just be a breeding ground for zombies. But with that rant over, if I could rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a completely horrible idea and 10 being indefinite long-term survival, I would have to give a hotel a 3. Maybe a 4, but no higher than a 4. So a hotel is at best good for short-term survival. But what do you guys think? Do you think I missed any pros or cons? Let me know in the description box down below. And I apologize that I don't have my green screen set up. Big changes are coming. I'll make an update video soon. Hit that like button if you want to see more of these videos, and maybe even consider subscribing. I said that way more times than I needed to in this video. I kind of hate myself now. My name's Tyler, and I will see you guys next time.